Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 2. Last time, we made our way through the first half of the Damrung's restricted area, I guess is technically what it's called. And this time, we're going to continue going through, blowing things up, and trying to find our magical machine that's going to take us away at warp speed. Because why the hell not? And of course, that means long tricks up the stairs and things to blow up. This one contains skill upgrades. Speaking of skill points, take a look at my level grinding. Yes, my level grinding. You can only imagine how many skill points I have. 26,000. Yeah, I may have gone a little overboard, but I was planning to get to level 40 approximately anyway. I just happened to get really lucky with a lot of times 10 on the skill upgrade slot. Do note that you can make use of boost when you're fighting two enemies, because on certain occasions they will go back to back. Two in a row, and you can boost in between to change your position in the order. And if you're fighting one enemy, if you guard, I think it's about 5 or 6 times, you'll actually get 2 turns in a row, because with the swimsuit on, you're slightly faster than pretty much all the enemies. And so with that, you should be able to get skill bonus slot for your killing blow the vast majority of the time, if not every time. Now, I have all these points. I do not really need to use them too much. I am going to do this one just so that I have them, since everybody else has those ones anyway. But the skills that I actually need are ones that I don't have access to quite yet, or at least some of them. Let's see here. Ice Coat could be useful, but it's too much of a stretch for everyone else to get, so I'm not going to bother. Boost 1 will be helpful, and there's another skill in this slot that we'll get eventually that will be helpful as well. And more importantly, I will be putting points into Blade and Spear Coat, and since Shion's got the extra points, I'll probably just get the rest of them as well. Don't worry, there will be plenty of opportunities where I don't want Shion in the fight, where she will not fall behind, but everyone else will get a chance to catch up in terms of skill points and class points and all that. But for now, she is going to have a lot more levels and a lot more points than everyone else. But I'm only really going to need her for a short while. And once we get past that point, we don't really need her for quite some time after that, if I remember correctly. So anyway, yes, it's a lot of level grinding. No, it didn't take all that long. And when you can fight 4 or 5 enemies and then walk into a save point all the time for free healing, it's really not all that difficult to do. Especially here when she's by herself, when everyone is 400% weak to her main attack. And there's absolutely no point in blowing those up, but OCD requires me to do it. Now, once we get down here, we get this piece of glass here. And what you want to do is you want to blow up 1, 2, if you talk to that thing up there, it can reset it and it tells you what you're doing. And go up here. Go all the way to this corner. Her added weight, even though with a piece of glass this large wouldn't probably do very much, is all we really need to push the glass there. And then you want to stand here. It blows that up. As you can see, there is a chest there. I'm going to turn on fast forward because I'm faster than chest, so I'm going to have to do some waiting here. And eventually it will float over and contains decoder 15, which we will be making use of shortly. Next, you want to drop back down here, and I guess I can turn fast forward off now. And as you go over here, you want to just pop on here, but don't go too far, otherwise that thing will fall back down. You have to go pretty close to the corner to make it fall down, so you shouldn't be doing it when you don't want to. This room has a fan in it. Oh, okay. That'll work. This is the other new enemy in here that I haven't shown off. The VS Rayleigh, or Raleigh, or however you pronounce that. And it really, like, this one's faster than all the other ones. As you can see, they tend to get a couple of turns in a row. He can also inflict slow on you, which can be annoying. Should be able to kill him in one shot, and I got times 10 for that. Like, I needed more points, but I'll take it. Now, as you can see, I went twice in a row. This guy is the slowest of the bunch. Do note when you boost, he should get 2 turns. Okay, he didn't, but when I boost on their turn, like if I boost now, I'll get a turn here. And this is one way you can manipulate the system so that you can actually get more points than you would otherwise think you can. But if I stock here, I'll get the next turn because I was going to get the next turn anyway. And that's one way you can make a lot of use of boosting in certain situations in certain positions. Once you've leveled up enough, you should be able to do enough damage with only 3 hits to kill these enemies. But the extra one's going to help me get a little more on my boost gauge there.
No problem.
And at this point, pretty much all these enemies are no problem for you. And I got a lot of points for that. Nice. And junk circuits, they sell well. Alright, so this fan's going to blow you away, and it's going to be rather a pain in the ass to get forward. Once we get fast forward, once we get close, we should actually be able to move forward with some amount of consistency. Unfortunately, you got to get really close, and it gets really slow for a while. It's kind of annoying. But once you get kind of close there, you just want to sneak around here, hug the wall, go all the way this way, and then slam over to the side. And you should be able to hit this button, which will turn off the fan. With the fan off, we no longer have any problems, nothing to worry about. So we can just walk around and get to this side where we can actually get out of here. Now, am I healed up? I am healed up. Perfect. Probably want to be healed up. At least don't be on super low HP before coming up here. You'll find out why in a moment. Stand on the very large platform, use the elevator. Now, with all the technology they have, this just looks stupid. And I don't know how you would be able to keep that stable without a single pole kind of holding it through the middle so that it's always going the same way. With those pillars, they'd probably end up swaying at some point, especially over higher speeds. Or at least I would think. But then again, I have no idea what I'm talking about, so maybe not. It just kind of looks goofy.
Warning. This area is currently off limits to unauthorized personnel. Please leave immediately.
No, I need something first. And strangely enough, we actually get boss music for this, so I'll leave it in. It's not going to take me that long.
You to a crisp.
They're the same enemies we've already fought, though this time they just have a different color palette. Same HP, as far as I can tell, same damage, and even with the swimsuit, which lowers defense dramatically, well, not dramatically, it's 10 to 15%, but it's still, I still don't have any problem dealing with these guys. Go one more time, and yeah, should be all I need to kill him, because now he's broken, takes some more damage from that attack. And we'll guard again. Can I get a good slot here? Yes, I can. Take a look at that. And he's done and over with. Now, the biggest help that doing level grinding gets me right now in these battles is probably additional HP and a little bit of extra damage. Later on, it will be the skill points by a long shot. Levels are far less important than skill points, and that will go into kind of what I choose to grind later in the game. Now, I did a decent amount of grinding so far in this game, pretty much all in this one spot, but there are a couple other points where I'll be doing some as well, because you really need to do at least some in order to actually get the points you need to take on bosses early enough. Not necessarily storyline bosses, but I don't want to be here forever waiting to take on special extra bosses post-game and all that kind of stuff.
System. Please, hurry and get inside.
Okay.
Reality.
Looks like we're a little late. We're kind of surrounded.
We're in a big mech.
Hang on tight, Chief.
Wait! Alan!
That doesn't seem like Alan. Though if he was smart enough to make sure he did that so he didn't hurt anybody, and still hold them
Not
off,
bad.
that would be
Alan,
pretty cool.
I'm impressed.
Well, it's all part of being a man. And the power of love.
And you're a nerd. So am I, but you're a nerd.
Did you say something?
Sounds about right.
Nothing.
Poor Alan.
I'm gonna floor it. Hang on tight.
Hello. What are you paying attention to? Oh, right. That's Wilhelm. He owns Vector. Wait a minute. You shouldn't smile when somebody steals your stuff. Especially when it's one of your employees. The only thing I ever got caught stealing from my bosses was, well, when I worked pizza, and he knew I was stealing that, and I wasn't actually stealing it because he was my friend, so... We all ate pizza because that's pretty much all there was to eat. Albedo's Ascension. That would, of course, refer to what we saw with Albedo when he gained the Y data earlier on at the end of Disc 1. The rest? Her. Which her? There are many hers in this game. Ones that we know, maybe? Ones that we don't? No problems, huh? Considering this is a JRPG, yeah, there's going to be a lot of problems. Yeah, that's pretty much the yin-yang balance of life kind of deal. Pure heart, huh? We all compare ourselves to others. Yes, we get it. She who thinks of others right, and he who opened the door wrong. Referring to whatever this she is. Presumably somebody we know, I would guess. Not exactly sure which one he's talking about. But open the door, I would assume he's talking about Albedo in that one. Absolute truth. This is kind of an odd cutscene because like 80 to 90% of the cutscenes in this game are voiced, and this one is not. And not just this game, but episode 1 and episode 3 as well. It's kind of weird to have a cutscene like this with dungeon music in the background and just, you know, reading dialogue. You don't have to do a lot of that in this game. Anyway, he said awakening, referring to, I believe, KOS-MOS, but that may have been the her they were referring to. I'm not entirely sure. I will leave that open to you guys. Well, you're in charge, so I don't think it really matters if he objects or not. And all of a sudden the music stops. Anyway, they mentioned the word awakening, which reminds me, at the end of Disc 1, we stole something.
1.41 parsecs to Miltia. No ship signatures around.
It was called
We're
Awakening
halfway
1.
there.
Once we get access to our items, we're going to have to take a look at that, because I haven't done anything with it yet. Until then... What's that?
Well, what kind of maneuvers are those? That's well beyond the limits of the human body.
They must be mobile dolls. Points for the reference.
We're hit! Shields are lost!
I know!
What the hell is that thing? Wait a minute. We've seen this scene before.
It's no good. It's not responding to our commands. KOS-MOS, she suddenly started up.
Yeah, we've seen this before. This happened in episode 1. We all know what's coming now. Well,
Her
to an
reactor isn't
extent.
even installed.
Wait, what? Then how is she
I
moving?
know.
Then again, every time she starts up, she seems to do it without, you know, foreknowledge. And if you do remember, they were working on new weapon system for her called the tertiary weapon system. And apparently they were also working on a new shell. Or at least that's their explanation in Episode 3's database as to why she looks so much different. Yeah, they just gave her a new body, or a new shell, Ghost in the Shell style, but yeah, she has a new body now. It's upgraded. She no longer has that big bulky thing on her forehead after it got destroyed in Episode 1. This, I have a feeling people didn't know about. Her pod turns into a bike. That's fucking badass.
No! No!
And they fall down like morons because, you know, people.
Wait, KOS-MOS, where are you going?
Shion.
What?
Shion is calling me.
That she is. She basically screamed.
Shion?
Oh, Shion needs help. Gotta go.
Chief Uzuki is...
Time to go. And not only is it a bike, but it can teleport through glass, shoot out into space, and presumably, I don't know, shoot out fast, considering this thing was supposed to be really fast to get her into warp speed. Not that I think she's hit warp speed yet, but
Is this the end?
considering what we just saw, hell no.
Shion, I am switching your craft to control mode B. Prepare
Oh?
for docking.
Docking?
What? Docking?
I get to do it again. I get to do it again. For the first time in episode 2, we have a docking sequence. Yeah, I've kept this kind of going since Xenogears, mainly because it's a quirk of the animation and the style of the games. They just like to show off that type of animation. In this case, I fucking love that they did it because it creates the ES Dina. Yeah, that's our second ES that we've seen. Of course, the first one being Asher back in 14 years ago, Old Milsha. This one is a combination of the craft that they saw, which can go to warp, and her pod, or her bike. That's awesome. She has a mech that can go to warp. I want one. Of course, I don't know where I'd go, but I'm sure there's an episode of Star Trek that I could reference at this point.
I think we're saved.
You think? Everything's dead.
Oh, thank goodness.
And he's a pansy.
Enemy craft have withdrawn from sensor range.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's better.
Chief, a transmission.
Well, who could it possibly be
A
from?
transmission?
Yo, Miss Vector. That was quite a show you put on out there.
I know that
That
voice.
voice.
Hey, if you're alive, say something already.
Captain!
And he is captain of the newly refurbished and remodeled Elsa Mark II. I'm not sure if they call it Mark II, but it basically is. It's a remodeled Elsa that they made specifically for this game. And again, I've mentioned it before, but this is the music that I played on the Elsa in episode 1 during the LP because there was no music in the Elsa in episode 1. Now that we are here, this place could use a bit of a tour. Before going to the bridge, let's talk to some people. Any other ES? The ES Zebulon. Now, that is a very important note. Reacts to some of its pilot's ether skills and allows them to use even while piloting the AES. Now, the ES Asher, which we've seen, and the ES Dina, which we've kind of just seen, are both crafts that we have access to right now. They cannot use ether while they are in craft. The ES Zebulon, which we don't have yet, and they just spoil the fact that we're going to get, is actually one that can use ether in battles. And that is very important and makes that craft very useful, specifically late game, and basically required in order to beat many bosses. But anyway, do you now? Anyway, I don't have time to go do all the stuff that we have to do today, and there are a lot of things to do. But let's talk to a couple of people. I wonder who attacked us. Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, what about you? You love swimsuits, do you? He's a pervy old man and he's not even human. Man, it applies to everybody. Anyway, that's all the time I have for today, so next time we'll go through and do a little bit of a tour of the new Elsa. We will do some backtracking and get some items because we're able to do that now. We'll be able to get some decoders, do some GS campaign stuff. Not a lot, just a little bit. We're going to do one complete one and start another one, and that's it. So not too much, but anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.